Okay, let's dive into a really high-stakes story of ambition and power playing out in the world of AI right now. And it all kicks off with one person's career move, a move that's sending some serious shockwaves through the entire industry. So here's the headline. One of the co-founders of a super promising AI startup has just left to join one of the biggest tech giants on the planet. But this isn't just your standard job change. This single move actually blows the lid off a much larger, way more aggressive battle that's being fought for the future of artificial intelligence. Let's break down what's really going on here. Right. This isn't just about someone getting a better offer or a bigger paycheck. We are talking about a calculated, strategic move in a high-stakes chess match where the prize is, well, the future of AI. So here are the facts of the matter. A guy named Andrew Tulloch, who co-founded the startup Thinking Machines Lab, has officially left to join Meta Platforms. Now, what makes this so significant is who's involved, right? You've got this rising star startup squaring off against an established tech behemoth. To really get why this is such a huge deal, we need to quickly look at the key players in this drama. Because this isn't just a corporate story. It's a story about people, power, and a whole lot of ambition. First up, we have Thinking Machines Lab. This is the hot new player on the scene. And yeah, it might be a new startup, but it has an absolutely incredible pedigree, which makes it both a major target for giants like Meta and a pretty formidable competitor on its own. And where does that pedigree come from? Well, from its founder, Mira Murati. Her name carries some serious weight. As the former chief technology officer of OpenAI, she's basically one of the key architects of the whole AI landscape we see today. So when she starts a new company, you better believe everyone in the industry pays very, very close attention. And who's watching this new startup with intense interest? You guessed it, Meta Platforms. Led by Mark Zuckerberg, Meta is the giant in this story, and they are making an incredibly aggressive, all-in push to dominate the AI space. It's a classic David versus Goliath showdown. So the big question is, how did this all happen? Well, Andrew Tulloch's departure was no accident. It was actually the final move in a very deliberate and, you could say, very aggressive play by Meta. And this just reveals Meta's whole strategy. First, Mark Zuckerberg tried to buy Thinking Machines Lab outright. Just absorb the competition. But Mira Murati said no. So what was plan B? If you can't buy the company, just hire its most important people right out from under it. Okay, so this is the official statement from a Thinking Machines Lab spokesperson. It's calm, it's professional, it's standard corporate speak. But when you put it up against the backdrop of Meta's strategy, you can really feel the tension. Personal reasons sounds a whole lot different when you know what was actually happening behind the scenes, doesn't it? And just look at the scale of this. This wasn't just a one-off attempt to snag a single-star employee. Zuckerberg's team reportedly approached more than a dozen people at the startup, including the co-founder, Tulloch. This was a targeted, widespread campaign to weaken a rival by poaching its core talent. So, what does this one incident tell us about the bigger picture? Well, it reveals that we're smack in the middle of an intense, escalating war, a war for AI talent. And in this war, the most brilliant minds are the ultimate prize. See, in this race, the technology, the code, the data centers, all of that stuff is incredibly important. But what's becoming even more valuable are the people, the human beings who can create and innovate and build the next generation of that technology. These people, these intellectual creators, they're the new gold. This whole thing signals a fundamental shift in corporate strategy. For decades, the playbook was simple. If you want what a company has, you buy the company to get the intellectual property. But the new strategy is way more direct, and maybe a little more brutal. Forget the company. Just hire away its best and brightest. You acquire the actual minds that create the IP in the first place. So this leaves us with a really powerful question. As these tech giants battle it out for the future, are we entering a new era where a handful of key people are actually worth more than the entire company they work for? Based on this story, the answer seems to be a resounding yes. And that, well, that could change everything about how innovation happens.